it's Nia Emil and welcome to this parting tutorial. This is definitely a universal tutorial, meaning that it can apply to any parting size and hair type. This tutorial is detailed and very low maintenance, so without further ado, let's get into it. To begin, I just want to mention that for this tutorial, I'm going to be focusing on making smaller parts for my hair. These are also the same parts that I made to accomplish my mini twist in my mini twist tutorial, so if you haven't checked out the tutorial, check that out. Now, to actually begin the tutorial, I start off by adding some oil to my scalp and my hair. Next, you're going to take a rat tail comb to begin your first part. Make sure you are parting straight across. And if you're wondering how I'm able to see my hair while parting from the front, this is because I have a mirror in front of me and I have the mirror in the back of me. At the end of the day, when parting your hair, you definitely will always need two mirrors, whether it's a three-way mirror or you have two separate mirrors. Alright, now let's get back into parting my hair. You're going to keep going across to keep making the part neater and neater to get it exactly how you want it. Take your time while doing this. I know when first using a mirror from the front and the back, it can be hard to follow your hand movements. Just make sure you are taking your time and practicing touching your hair and maneuvering your hair, because to learn how to part your hair, you have to become comfortable touching your hair in order to get it parted exactly how you want it to be. And as you guys can see, I started off with the back of my hair, and I'm happy that I did this. Since you guys can see that this is more of a shorter part of my hair, it's easier to get the part more precise because you're able to see the scalp more. And here I'm finishing off getting this part nice and even. And while trying to get this part even, make sure you're using both sides of the rat tail comb. Watch as I'm doing here. And now I'm just finishing up this part because it's now done. As y'all can see, it's nice and neat. And now I'll be going in with the hair clamp to section off my hair to begin making the sections in the space that we just parted. Since this is the first row and it's at the bottom, I'm going to make 3 parts in total while I'm doing these sections. As you can see, I just parted the first section. And to keep this section from getting messed up, I'm going to finger coil just this little section, as y'all can see. And now I'm moving on to the next part. I'll give some tips for doing these smaller parts. First, I would say to make sure you keep a steady hand. Second, take your time. Third, pay close attention to the mirror in the back of you so you can watch your hand. And last, if you need to, take a picture so you can see if the spaces are all the same size, and if not, make sure you go in and make those corrections. Alright, things are looking good, and now I'm going to begin my second row going across. And one of the most important things when doing these parts across is that you keep it the same length and width as the one under it. And I really want you to pay attention here because as y'all can see, I took a space to measure out to see if it would be the same length as the one under it, and it was not. So I went in with the end of my rat tail comb to clean this part up. And because now I know that I need to take out more hair on this side, I'm now going to go in with the end of the rat tail comb to take out more hair and the rest of the part to make sure everything is nice and even. And I hope by now that you're at least becoming a little bit more comfortable than doing your first section across. And I'm saying this because this is a very mindful tutorial. It is not a lazy one. I'm trying to give y'all precise details because I want y'all to get y'all hair just like mine, because the way my hair turned out, ooh, it was gorgeous. And I had to make this stink face right quick because I was so over parting this section. And again, we'll now be going in to make smaller sections in the space that we just parted across. And as y'all can see, I'm doing a testing space to make sure that this part is aligning with the one under it and still making it even for its row. And once you finally part it correctly, you're going to make a twist now, a mini twist, so you can section off that part so it won't get messed up with the other ones. And as you guys can see, I'm part of the next section and I'm making sure I measure it based on the row that it's in, but also the row under it. And I'm using a mirror so I can go in and clean up the part. And now I'm just going to section it off by doing a mini twist. Now I'm showing y'all how good these parts turned out, how nice and neat they turned out, and most importantly, how they're giving very much what y'all signed up to see. Like, y'all clicked on this tutorial to see these results. I'm going in with the rat tail comb to begin parting the third row across. Since I'm parting into a more thicker section of my hair, I'm doing a test measurement of the parting space very early on so I can know how much hair I need to take out and keep in going across. And as y'all can see, that's what I'm doing now. Although this clip is sped up, if it was slow down, y'all will see that I'm taking my time to make sure that everything is nice and neat, and most importantly, measured out the same way as the row under it. When parting the back sections of your hair, that's when you need the mirror in front of you the most. So make sure that you're adjusting that mirror here and there to make sure that you're able to see the mirror in the back to keep the measurements in the parting spaces clean. An example of this is this clip here. I'm just seeing whether or not this part is still crooked at the ends, and now I'm going in to fix that. But as you guys can see, I need to move the mirror so I can make sure I'm adjusting myself and my hand in a position that's going to get the part straight. And as y'all can see, I absolutely bodied that, and I know you did too. And now it's time to make the mini sections in this parting space. As I said before, keep a steady hand and go straight down in an even pace. Separate and observe the hair to see if the parting space is crooked or not, and if not, just go in with your mini twist to make sure that the hair is sectioned off. And y'all, I hope that everything I've been saying is easy to comprehend and understand, and very most importantly easy to follow, because I want girls with hair just like me to know that it's simple and easy and really a good and fun feeling when you know how to maintain your hair and do things on your own for your hair. And as you guys can see, I'm working on making that second section of this row, making sure that it's nice and clean. I'm going in very precisely, very mindful. And now, since everything is lining up, I'm just going to go in and make a mini twist. And now I'm going to continue working on this row using the method that I explained. And like I said, I hope that this tutorial has been so helpful so far. Alright, I finished up all the parts, and this is what my hair is giving so far. I just love how mini twists look on natural hair. Even if you add weave to them, I don't care. Mini twists just eat. Anyways, we're starting on the next section across, and this time is more different because we're starting off using the front of our head now. So this is where the mirror in front of you really comes in handy. I personally feel like parting from the front is very much easier than, you know, working through the back and the middle areas. When it comes to the thicker parts of your hair, it's going to take more time, effort, and precision to get these parts to be the same length and width as the parts under them. But as long as you are taking your time and doing as I'm doing, you know, measuring out, testing out each space to make sure that they're not too bulky, not too small. And I'm going to continue this method until I reach the end of my hairline on the opposite side of my head. Now that we've completed the hard part, which was making this row across, now we're going to start doing the easier part, which is making the sections in the row. I also just realized I never mentioned how many parts I do in each row. So I really just do it based on whatever is the most even number I can get out of the row. So some rows I just do 6 parts. Some y'all saw in the first row I just did 3. It's whatever is going to make it look the most even. But here are some braided maps that helped me, especially when I first started to learn to part my hair. Pinterest has so many of them, and in general, if you Google it, you're going to find them. But these parting maps are so helpful. I also want to address that, yes, the size that I'm doing my parting spaces as is considered medium, or even a version of small. This tutorial still applies to however you want to part your hair. I'm just trying to get y'all into the habit of a steady hand, also how to use a mirror to help you part, and learning how to measure your parting spaces. Also, y'all, I had to slow down the video to normal speed so y'all can see how neat I got these parts. I ate. Now we're starting the next section at the front of our head, and again, y'all see I'm following the method of parting, stopping to measure to see if it's aligning with the same size, and as y'all see, I'm adjusting the mirrors and going in to clean up and make sure that the rest of the parting across is following this same length and width. And as y'all can see, I'm continuously stopping to split the hair and measure everything to make sure it's nice and even. Y'all, I know that these clips are sped up, But when they're slowed down, y'all can really see that I'm taking my time. So that's just the best advice I can give at this point. Keep taking your time. You're almost there. We're dang near parting basically half of our head by now. And if I'm doing it, you can do it too. I know you can. And I hope that everything in this video is helping you to become a better parter. Before I leave and let you guys just watch the clips and let this method really marinate, I just want to say, remember, keep a steady hand, follow along in the mirror, and make sure that you're taking your time. Measure things out. You can do this. I'm going to come back probably once I'm starting basically at the top of my head, because since this is the middle section, the parting and the methods are very similar. So I'm just going to let the clip play. Please follow along. If you need to slow down the video, do what's needed. But I will be back in a little bit.
Keep running circles around the snail hole. And my shit bumping up in the jail hole. People where you been at, rain. Everywhere I'm working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck. Got M&M's in my garage. With the crank up on the hoe. You bitches better not get me started. Got in with the gangsters and players. My folks don't keep it solid. Everything I got on new, it look like I got renovated. I'm cocky, bitch. When I was just humble, they didn't appreciate it.
I'm back, guys, and look what we did. Look what we accomplished. We should all be singing the We Did It song by Dora right now. Right now. We did that. These parts are so clean, so neat, and now it's time to start working at the top of our head. Now, y'all, I'm going to be transparent. Working with the top of your hair is more trickier because it's more thicker, which is why I'm going in with the brush, and because you can't really see it. So this is where the mirror is really going to come in handy. When first starting to part the top of my head, I tilt my head back while still looking at the mirror so I can see how far back this comb needs to be going. Also, I always start the top of my head doing the middle part. A middle part gives me a clear map of how I can make mini sections between these two sections that come from the middle part. And when you're doing the top of your head, the best bet where you can get the best results is just by touch and feeling. Feel your hair, touch your hair. Your hair is gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's soft, it loves you touching it. So touch it. That's going to help you really be able to get those parts. As you can see, as I'm touching my hair, I'm able to hold things in place, get neater parts, and I'm also able to feel any imperfections and correct them. Now that I got the front of the part straight, it's time to make sure that the back is matching up and nothing is crooked. So this is where I really tilt my head back and adjust the mirrors so that I'm able to match the back of the part with the front, making sure that the middle part is even. Make sure your hand is steady and the tip of the red tail comb is straight. Breathe, take your time. This is no rush, okay? Do not rush parting your hair. Also, as I mentioned earlier in the video, if you need to take pictures as a reference to see if your parts are straight or not, please do that. That's been the best help for me. And y'all can see I'm not messing around. I'm bending my neck to make sure that this middle part is giving very much buzz down. Alright, now that you've mastered that middle part, section off one of those halves that you split with the middle part. You're going to make a part down the middle of the section that is not claw clipped. Get that part nice and even, because once you finish making this middle part, you're going to make two more middle parts out of these two sections so that you have 4 sections at the top of your head for this section that is not claw clipped in total. I hope that makes sense. Alright, now that you have made the 4 sections at the top of your head, you are going to go in and measure out everything so that you can make the mini sections within these 4 sections. Make sure you have everything clipped off, whatever, rubber band off, whatever you have to section off your hair so that nothing is getting in the way. And keep following as I am doing, you guys, because for the rest of this clip is just basically going to be me showing y'all how I am parting and measuring everything out so that these 4 sections are done by the time I come back and talk to y'all. So just watch as I do. I promise y'all I will not fail y'all. Y'all gonna see, y'all already saw at the beginning of this video, but y'all definitely gonna see at the end of this video how everything just really came together. Here I stopped to show you guys that I was halfway through one of the 4 sections and how neat the parts were, and I wanted to slow down to show you guys if you still were confused on how I was parting. Alright y'all, I have just finished all 4 sections of the top half, and now I'm just showing it off to you guys. Now I'm going to follow the same exact methods that I did for this side to the side that is unfinished, and yeah, let's go. Alright, so the only difference is that now, since I have one side completed, it's easier for me to follow the length and width to just now do one section at a time. So now I'm just focusing on the section that is right next to the middle part. And because, like I said, I already have the sections done, I'm able to follow knowing that I need it to be the specific size that I'm making it now. And I'm just going to let the clips play. I'm going to continue the same method for the next 3 sections, making sure that everything is nice and even with the other 4 sections. And if you still can't follow along with how I'm describing how to section off the top part, I hope that visually I'm doing you justice with an explanation.
Yes, of course. I remember, how could I forget how you feel? You know you were my first time, a new feel. It won't ever get old, not in my soul, not in my spirit, keep it alive. We'll go down this road till it turns from color to black and white. But do you not think so far ahead? 'Cause I've been thinking about forever.
Hey y'all, I'm back, and that was the end of this tutorial. I hope that this was all so helpful. My parts turned out so lovely, and I know yours turned out even better. I hope by the end of this you are so much more comfortable parting your hair. And that's about it. I don't want to waste too much more of your time or my time, so see you next time.
Anywhere you go,